Hi, I'm Mark Partridge. I'm the Swank Chair in Rural Urban Policy at The Ohio State University. I'm also a professor in Agriculture, Environment, and Development Economics. My segment of the economic outlook is the national and state economies as a whole, and the national economy is looking really quite good. I don't want to call it robust and booming, but it's looking quite good compared to, say, the last several years. This year, 2014, is looking to be the best year for job growth since 1999. 2015 looks for continued acceleration in the national economy. So though we never really had the real fast expansion after the Great Recession, we've now are in relatively steady job growth. It's the 66th month of economic expansion. That's the 6th longest on record. There's no signs of any of the instabilities of one sector growing really fast, that's unsustainable, that would normally end an economic expansion, send you back into recession. So the national economy is looking pretty well. Some areas that have been looking well, but I'm a little bit concerned about going in the future is manufacturing. It's still about 12% below where it was at the beginning of the Great Recession in terms of jobs. It's about 34% below the levels of 2000, and even 51% below the levels of 1979, at least in terms of Ohio. Point being is that manufacturing still while growing in terms of output, we're still producing more than ever. It's using fewer and fewer workers. So that part of the economy, I don't expect to grow as fast. But the rest of the economy, I see a lot of economic expansion. In terms of Ohio, it's a similar story that we're growing, we're doing relatively well. We are unfortunately lagging the nation at about 1/2 to 1 percentage point a year in less job growth, which is where we were before the Great Recession, really where we've been since the late 1960s. And there's no real reason to think that the economy will, the Ohio economy will change, either one way, either slow down more or speed up. But in that sense, Ohio is growing, but not as fast as the nation. In terms of the rural economy, one thing I want to note about the rural economy, some people have been real concerned about the declining commodity prices in the agriculture sector, declining commodity prices in general, whether they were talking about energy and so forth. And I'm relatively optimistic that in the sense that we can withstand that. The farm sector actually is in really good financial shape. They can withstand a lot of price pressures. Likewise, the farm sector, at least in terms of employment, is much smaller than what it was in the 1980s when we had a major farm crisis that brought down Midwest state economies. And so in that sense, I think the farm economy is more resilient, and even if I'm wrong on that point, I think the rural economy is much more diversified that it can withstand that kind of a shock. So overall, it's good news for 2015.